Hello, this is Darrell Castle with today's podcast. Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2014, and today we continue our discussion of the real state of the Union with emphasis on the state of the U.S. military. We can start with the fact that now literally hundreds of officers, many of them of command rank, including the commander of AFRICOM, or U.S. Forces in Africa, and a nuclear strike carrier task force commander have been sacked, relieved of their commands, many of them with 20-plus year careers ruined. Now, in addition to all that, if that were not enough, we learned that the U.S. Strategic Nuclear Missile Forces are in trouble. Air Force Secretary Deborah Lee James dispatched now to investigate Missile Command. She has issued a rather honest assessment, while at the same time trying to assure the American public that the weapons and the men and women who fire and maintain and protect them are still effective and safe. Ms. James said that she believes the nuclear missile force is beset by a culture of, quote, undue fear. That's her words, undue fear. She did not define what she meant by that term, or at least if she did, I have not been able to find any definition. The scandal in the missile forces now involves drugs, low morale, poor training, and a cheating scandal that has rolled up and involved 92 officers of high rank in the strategic missile forces. The officers have to be tested in order to do this type of work. They have to be tested to maintain proficiency standards, to remain qualified to operate the nation's nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of the nuclear destruction of planet Earth. These officers have to be tested. But they cheated on their test because they believed that getting a low score would ruin their chances for promotion. They cheated to maintain proficiency. Miss James blamed the command climate at Malmstrom Air Force Base. That's a quote, command climate. I guess giving them the training to pass their test was just too much to ask, huh? She said the troops don't hear much from senior commanders or civilian leadership about the nuclear mission. The relevancy of the nuclear force is in question these days. She quoted senior staff officers who said, quote, we as senior leaders talk about the importance of the mission, but the team in the field doesn't always see that backed up by concrete action. This is nothing but bureaucrat speak, folks. Bureaucrats speak for low morale, poor training, and above all, poor leadership from the top down. Everything is under review now. Officers being dispatched and reports being written. The wingman philosophy of the Air Force was mentioned by Miss James for partial blame because many of the 92 officers in the cheating scandal knew about the cheating but did not report it, and that's how they got caught up in the scandal. This all comes at a time when the nuclear forces are very much relevant again. Nuclear-armed nations face each other in the Far East, and some level of conflict between Japan and China seems inevitable, and the U.S. is treaty-bound to intercede on Japan's behalf. In the Middle East, Pakistan is apparently spreading nuclear technology across the Middle East as it did to North Korea. Israel's 8 million people, whom the U.S. is also quite obviously bound to, is surrounded by 65 million Muslims, some of them nuclear-armed, and all of them hate Israel. Confrontation with nuclear weapons once again seems inevitable. Responsibility begins at the top, folks. That is the commander-in-chief. Perhaps he should accept his responsibility, but that might just be too much to ask. Perhaps he should at least visit the nuclear forces, that is, if he is really concerned. Otherwise, he should be replaced, but that's just the way I see it, folks. Monday, February 3rd, 2014. Until next time, this is Darrell Castle. Thanks for listening.